Okay, welcome to another episode of Black Atlas Goings On. My name is Kenny, aka Black Atlas, and today we are doing a recipe that I saw on the internet that I want to give a try. It is smoked salsa. The original recipe that I saw came from Matt Pittman from Meat Church. So I definitely want to give this recipe a try and see how tasty it is. So we'll go through the ingredients because there's not really that many. There's not that many as a whole, but there's a lot of actual tomatoes. So we need 25 Roma tomatoes. 25 Roma tomatoes. Then we need 10 jalapenos. Then we got 2 medium-sized onions. Some people use white onions. Some people use yellow onions. I'm actually using 1 white and 1 red onion. Then we have 3 heads of garlic. We are going to wrap these in foil when we put these in the smoker because if you just leave them out, they will not cook in time. So with them wrapped in the foil, that steam will help cook them faster. And these are pretty tiny heads of garlic, which is why we're using 3 of them. We have 3 limes that we're actually going to put in the smoker as well. And then we also have some cilantro. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and start getting these vegetables cut. And I'll show you how to cut the vegetables. And then we'll get them on the trays and get them in the smoker. So I will go ahead and start cutting these vegetables, show you how to get a couple of those done, and then we'll see y'all back at the smoker. So here we go. The way we're going to cut these tomatoes, we're going to cut the top off, and then we're just going to cut it in half. Just like that. I'll show you one more. We are going to cut the top off, and then just cut it in half. And then what we are going to do with the jalapenos is we are going to do the exact same thing. We are going to cut the top off, and then we are going to cut it in half. And then with the onions, we're actually going to cut these in quarters. Just like that. Then we're going to take the skin off before we put them in the smoker. And then the garlic, we are actually just going to cut the top of the garlic off, just like when you roast garlic. And then we are going to get this wrapped in foil. And then with the limes, we're just going to cut the limes in half. So I will see y'all in a few once I get all of this on the racks and we're about to put it in the smoker. Okay, so all of the ingredients are cut the way they are supposed to be. The tomatoes are cut in half. The onions are cut in quarters. Jalapenos are cut in half. The limes are cut in half. And the garlics, the top is cut off and they are in the foil. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go ahead and get the smoker up to temperature because we are going to be smoking at 250 for about 2.5 hours. So let's go ahead and get that smoker up to temp. And then when it's time to put them in, I'll come back to you. Okay, the smoker is up to temp. We got some good clean smoke running through. So it's time to go over there, grab those vegetables and get them in the smoker. First rack is all tomatoes. Next rack is a mixture of the tomatoes and onions. And then the last rack is everything else. The jalapenos, the limes, and the garlic. And those are going to be in there for about 2 hours. And then we will check them and see how it is. See y'all in about 2 hours to 2.5 hours. Okay, so the vegetables have been in the smoker for about 2.5 hours. And so I'm going to go ahead and take this platter out there, get everything pulled off, and then I'll bring them all in and show them to you. And then we're going to get to blending them up. Okay, here is what everything looks like right now. So what I am going to do is, due to the size of my food processor, I'm going to do half the batch and then the other half of the batch. And then I'm going to go ahead and get the cilantro and then the seasonings in there, which are 3 tablespoons of MSG and 3 tablespoons of Meat Church's Gospel Barbecue Rub. All right, so once I get half of it blended up, I'll show you what it looks like before I get it in a bowl and get the other half set up. Okay, so we got most of the vegetables in here, and the only thing that we need to put in there is the lime juice and then also the garlic and the cilantro. So when we roasted that inside of that aluminum foil, it makes it where you could just push it right out. So it's just like if you roast it in the oven. So let's go ahead and get some of these garlic cloves in there. And then we're going to go ahead and get this mixed up. All right, there's that. All right, let's go ahead and get this lime juice and the cilantro in there. And then we're going to go ahead and get it blended up. All right, we got the lime juice in there. Let's go ahead and get half of the seasoning in there since we're going to have to do it in 2 batches. And let's go ahead and get that cilantro. And with the cilantro, you can put the stems and everything in there because of the fact that it is going to be ground up. All right, let's get that lid and get it put it on. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to pulse it until it gets to the consistency that I want. I'm not just going to turn it on high all willy-nilly. I'm going to pulse it. Now, it definitely depends on how you like it, whether it's chunky or whether it's more smooth. I'll show you what it looks like right now. Now, that is what it looks like right now. It is still kind of chunky. So we can go ahead and actually blend that up a little bit more. And then we can also mix the textures as well. So with this one, I might just pulse it a few more times, leave this one more chunky, get it in the bowl, and then the second batch, I'll do a little bit more smooth. That way I have that mixture of textures in there. So let's go ahead and pulse this a few more times. All right, let's get this put in a bowl. Hold that blade in. Get it back on there and ready for the next batch. And there it is, kind of contrast because it's a red bowl with red salsa. But we'll try to change that in a little bit. We're going to go ahead and get this second batch done and get it all brought together. And then we'll see you after that for the taste test. Okay, it is all done and mixed up. And here is what it looks like. It's kind of medium chunky, medium smooth. It smells amazing. It's got those jalapenos in there. We can run through the recipe one more time. It's 25 Roma tomatoes, 10 jalapenos, 2 medium-sized onions. I used 1 white onion and 1 red onion. You can use whichever ones you want. And then I ended up using 2 heads of garlic. And then cilantro, just a bunch. And then it was 3 tablespoons of MSG, and then 3 tablespoons of the Gospel barbecue rub. All right, only thing left to do is taste it. Now, it will definitely taste better once it's been in the refrigerator for a little while and gotten cold and let those flavors meld together. But let's go ahead and taste it right now because I'm impatient. The smoke definitely comes through. There's only a little bit of a kick from the jalapenos, not much at all. It's got a nice tang to it. It's got good flavor. And like I said, once it's in the refrigerator for a few hours, those flavors meld together. It will taste even more delicious than it already does. So thank you for watching. My name is Kenny, and I have been a Black Atlas. Actually, I'm still Black Atlas. And this has been smoked salsa inspired by Meat Church recipe. I will put that link down in the description to the original recipe that this came from. And until the next video, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. And until then, I'll catch y'all on the flip side.